One of the most majestic edifices in Mumbai, the Town Hall, known popularly as the Asiatic Society it houses, is among the few Victorian architectural remnants. This, along with the 19th century neo-Gothic buildings in the Fort Precinct, the iconic Mount Mary Church in Bandra, and hundreds of such landmarks, are in danger of losing their heritage protection. Shockingly, 40% of the heritage structures in Mumbai have been excluded from the development plan. Only those structures mentioned in the BMC's land use plan will be preserved and protected. In effect, for instance, the 100-meter radius buffer zone won't remain, allowing for rampant construction.
Urban planners and conservationists say while efforts are being made to notify some of these as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the civic body, instead of protecting our architectural legacy, is only rendering them more vulnerable.
Worse still, Grade 3 heritage structures could be up for redevelopment, leaving the city's vernacular architecture like Khotachi Wadi in Girgaon, Matar Pakadi in Mazgaon, or the 12th century Banganga tank and temples at risk.
Now, it will be a pity that if all these heritage presence lose their heritage character and get redeveloped and become the kind of urban concrete jungle which the rest of the city is fast becoming.
The Heritage Conservation Committee that is taking its case to the BMC hopes better sense prevails. In Mumbai, Smita Nair.
All right. Mr. Guzder, you must have just heard the details about some of the heritage sites that are in danger. Can you tell us more? Since you have spent a lifetime caring for heritage sites and speaking up for them, tell us what are your worries about heritage sites that can be endangered because of the new plan?
Well, I don't think that the planners in the BMC are ignorant of anything. So one can only say that if you look at all of these glaring omissions, they're either the result of, I'm putting it politely, absolute ineptitude, or perhaps an intent to support a vested interest which is not currently visible on the plan. Either way, it's very objectionable. So on heritage, Mumbai was the pioneer in city heritage legislation. In 1995, the city enacted a heritage list which has stayed and endured right up to today. And initially it had some 680 buildings on it, graded as 1, 2 and 3, with the highest level of protection given to grade 1, and grade 3 allowing substantial modification, but nonetheless not the demolition of the building. Now, subsequently, in exercises carried out by expert bodies such as the MMR, the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Heritage Conservation Society, probably the highest expert body in the city after the Mumbai Heritage Conservation Committee, there have been additions to the list. A couple of textile mills, all the Pasi fire temples, some more public and private buildings, and now the total number of buildings on the lists which have the force of law is about 1,480. What has happened in this development plan is 1,000 buildings have just disappeared from the plan. So they have obliterated roughly 3/4 of the heritage of Bombay. And the implication of this is that either all of the buildings that they have their eye on are slated for redevelopment, or it means that they simply don't believe that heritage is worth conserving anymore. And I think the sad thing about this is that in the long run, it is the preservation of urban form and heritage that gives the city its sense of history and its sense of belonging. And if you want to obliterate this, then you will convert the whole of the city into large tracts of what we see today as suburbia without any sense of character or urban form. Now, there is a heritage list. How this development plan can actually supersede that list is a legal issue which we haven't understood and is exposing the BMC wide open to challenge.
Well, what's your sense? I mean, since you have been in government as well, will a plan like this fall because an earlier heritage law protects these heritage sites? Or do you think, since the plan is the later one in law, it might even supersede the earlier list?
No, not really. In fact, I think it seems to be a glaring error that some of these heritage sites have actually not been shown as a part of the existing land use.
So you don't think they are in danger?
No, I don't think that they're in danger at all. I think it's just a matter of getting it corrected. Either it could be by sheer oversight or deliberate, I don't know. But I think it's an error that can be corrected.
Okay, well then let me come back to the issue that we were discussing about the availability of open space. I mean, over there it's not a question of providing amenities. Even reducing that to below 1 square meter per capita, do you not think that it will deny to succeeding generations of children the existence of a playground? Yeah. And therefore, for generations, we are not going to have sportsmen from Mumbai.
I think one of the errors, to my mind, I think in the DP is that there were a number of reservations which have been subsequently encroached, and those have been in this plan have been actually removed. So I think the important thing would be to restore those reservations back in order to see that probably. To my mind, I think probably all of them can be. And what seems to have happened is that wherever these reservations were there, under the new plan, they've been either converted into residential or commercial zones. So I think it's necessary to restore them back. And of course, those could be compensated, those like the slum rehabilitation scheme. Similarly, schemes can be worked out for these. But it's important to preserve those spaces. You're absolutely right. I think whatever space there is and whatever space was earmarked for open space, that needs to be restored back.
Okay. In that case, Sanjay, since we're running out of time, what would be your, say, top 3 or 5 objections or recommendations for changes in the plan, keeping in mind, provision of something as important as open space?
Right. So I just gave you two major considerations.
Restoration of the reservation.
I mean that's a mistake. That needs to be corrected. I don't think there are two opinions on that. That's one. Secondly, wherever the reservations existed on the site, and those by virtue of this DP plan are likely to be removed, I think those need to be restored back. Okay. That's number 2. But I have some 2 or 3 major you can say objections to this plan. To my mind, I don't think the plan is ambitious enough. To me, I think the city, Mumbai is a financial center. Mumbai is a global city. I don't think the plan looks at it as a global city at all. All cities compete with each other. Mumbai competes with Hong Kong, Mumbai competes with Shanghai, Dubai, I think what we're trying to do, and I mentioned it in one of my interactions also, it's a provisioning plan. That means the population is going to be this much, and therefore we need to provide for this much housing, open space and this. But 20 years, 30 years down the line, where would Mumbai be? Can it take its rightful place as a world city? It's something that we're not talking about. And there are a few things that could be certainly done for that.
Which is?
To my mind, I think one of the suggestions that I have is, say for example, Nariman Point used to be the prime
commercial hub.
It's no more. Almost about 40% of the space is vacant out there. The reason why it is the case is the buildings that are constructed out there are old buildings. There are not enough parking in that. And in fact, the FSI consumed there was almost in excess of 4. So revamping all of that, because the best infrastructure is this side. Okay. A lot of people are actually moving out of this place into the suburbs where the infrastructure is not as good as this. So restoring some of that back here is, to my mind, and therefore giving a boost to Nariman Point, inventing Nariman Point, to my mind, should be first, is one of my important suggestions. Second is, the plan does not talk about a couple of other important places that are coming up. One is the port area. It's almost about 1,600 acres of land which is waiting to be developed. That's going to be the new gateway to Mumbai. Okay. I think unless we integrate that into the city of Mumbai, that seems to have been kept out. Obviously, because it's a part of the port land.
It doesn't belong to the
but that entire infrastructure load will have to come onto Mumbai, and Mumbai can probably take part of that space for its own development. I think
all the areas that come under certain authorities like MMRDA is not included in the plan. So because it is another authority.
Absolutely, that's number 2. The third is that Mumbai doesn't exist in isolation. In fact, Thane has almost become a part of Mumbai. Navi Mumbai has become part of Mumbai.
So do you think connectivity to Uran or to the
Absolutely.
mainland should have been the center part
Absolutely.
of the plan.
So that's not only the Trans-Harbour link, but the infrastructure plan. And I heard Guzder also saying about it, that the amenities that he's talking about, infrastructure, how exactly the infrastructure plan is going to go along with the land use plan is something that is not a part of this plan. Unless that is integrated, I don't think we really have a holistic plan.
Well, Sanjay, thank you very much for your recommendations, and thank you, Cyrus Guzder, for joining me. We're out of time, but not out of ideas. Sanjay's plan, of course, that Mumbai should be better linked to the mainland, and that areas of the port should also be included in the plan are, of course, very valid. But for me, more valid are Mr. Guzder's objection that Bombay is just getting too crowded if the FSI was raised to between 6 and 8. Thank you very much for joining us and watching this special edition of Indianomics on the city of Mumbai.